Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? So here we are. It is just after 1 o'clock on Wednesday, nearly middle of September already. And the lovely Victoria asked me to talk about Kegels and what I recommend. So firstly, who am I and what gives me the right to talk about anything to do with the body and muscles? Well, I am Shemaine Linney. I am owner of Shemaine's Model Health. I specialize, or I am a fitness and nutrition expert. I practice a lot of different areas in health, mental health. I practice Pilates. I do a lot of nutrition work. I touch on some areas of health that people need a little extra help in. Lately, specifically working with people that have health issues and need a little bit more than just nutrition and training. Anyway, so that's what gives me the authority to talk about the body and Kegels. So I've been in the industry for over 10 years now, helping many people, but specifically women, and I've worked with a lot of women post babies as well. So that would be one area I specialize in, getting their body back and back to maximum strength. And of course, I'm a mother of two as well. So I suppose I'll start with what got me onto Kegels in the first place. So many moons ago, I was 250 pounds with a new baby, very overweight, very unhealthy, no movement whatsoever. No movement, let alone exercise. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't walking. I was driving and sitting. That would have been my movement every day, or maybe walking into the takeout shop and back. That was my movement. So of course my core was very weak, my hamstrings, my glutes, my quads, hip flexors, everything was very weak, and then especially my pelvic floor and Kegels were very weak after giving birth to a baby. So then I started, when my little guy was like 6 months old, I started on my health journey, and then started to lose the weight, and then I got more into fitness, and then went on and trained in fitness, got my personal training, and over the years then I got certified in Pilates and a lot more stuff, and then branched into nutrition, and lo and behold, here I am now with 2 children and very strong Kegels and pelvic floor. So when I work with clients or when I work with new moms, initially what I will work with, rather than asking them to be doing pelvic floor exercises and Kegel exercises per se, because a lot of people don't know what these are and they don't know how to connect with their muscles. And when we ask them to do this kind of workout, we forget to remind them that these are muscles. These are muscles just like our bicep muscles, our quadriceps. The Kegels are muscles. And in order for one to get them working in your favor, we've got to activate the muscle fibers first. So we've got to get you used to the feeling of these muscles connecting and firing up. And what I like to do firstly to get people used to training their pelvis and their Kegels, especially after babies, and that can be done at any stage, because we all know that if you have a baby, you're not necessarily walking out of the hospital and starting your Kegels straight away. For some people, it's as many as 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, and they decide, oh, I've got a really weak core, or I've really weak pelvis from doing jumping jacks, or maybe they attend a boot camp, or they go to like a trampoline park and they're like, uh-oh, maybe I should have wore a pad, which it shouldn't be that way. So when I start with new clients, I will firstly get them to kind of think of the lower body as a whole and how we want to get the glutes and the outer muscles working first. So if you think that if we get our glutes and our adductors, so they are your inner thigh muscles, and abductors, the outer thigh, so all in this lower region, if we can get them working first in your favor, tighten them up and bring everything closer together, that's where I like to start first. So if I can get someone squeezing their butt daily to activate them gluteal muscles, then we can start drawing firstly the womb and the pelvic floor and the Kegels and the whole vaginal area. We're going to bring that back together if we can get the glutes tightened and bring it back in like that. It makes sense when we think about it. Then nextly, we've got to understand that generally weak pelvis and weak Kegels are due to weak core. So, and a lot of people understand this, but don't understand it at the same time. So you can't just be doing abdominal crunches and expect your pelvis to get strong. That's not how it works, unfortunately. When we're thinking of our pelvis, we're kind of thinking of everything below your belly button. So that would be our main focus, that we would be doing like leg lifts and kind of reverse crunches in a safe environment though, where you've gotten advice from an instructor. And some things just as simple as sitting on a gym ball are going to start activating them lower abdominal muscles and the pelvic muscles. So that's where you would go to someone more experienced for a bit more in detail exercises to start activating them lower abdominal muscles, so everything below the belly button and between the hips. Then when we move on to more internal work, when we get to the Kegels, so these would be your muscles inside your vagina. These are the ones that are going to make your sexual experience more enjoyable. It'll make you more sensitive. It definitely will improve orgasms and frequency of orgasms. The stronger you are, your frequency will become better. As well, of course, strong Kegels are going to help with incontinence, and that means that you don't have to spend the rest of your life wearing a pad, that you can go to a trampoline park and activate your core muscles, activate your Kegels, and not wet yourself and not be embarrassed in front of people. And this is a first world problem. Like, this has happened to me, and that's where making strong Kegels is very important. But we remember that they are a muscle. So if I was to do a bicep curl to get stronger biceps, I wouldn't just be doing my body weight biceps the whole time, because my biceps would not get stronger. They might get tired after maybe 20 minutes of doing non-stop curls, but they're not actually going to get stronger. So what would I do to make my biceps stronger? I would incorporate some sort of resistance, so a weight per se, or something that is going to provide force that I have to put pressure or force against. And the same goes for your Kegels, because they're a muscle. So this is where there are many, many tools on offer to improving your Kegel muscles that are very safe, they're very normal, they're very natural. Even though sometimes we are shamed as women to touch on certain topics and say certain things regarding our reproductive system or our sexuality or what we like down below, there's a lot of things on the market that you can use, and I suppose it's about finding what you're more comfortable with trying, and what you would like to try, I suppose, because many of us have ideas that we'd like to try stuff, but we're a bit afraid. So one thing I would recommend, and I don't know if you guys have heard of this, these are called jade eggs, okay? So they're used a lot in Asia and around the Middle East, keeping a woman strong. They help with fertility as well. You can get these eggs. Generally, you can buy them online, but Amazon, you can get them for between maybe $80 to $100 and get them shipped directly to you. And they're very beautifully designed, and you can get some really nice marble ones. They're very smooth. They have a hole in them where you would draw a string through, so nothing gets lost up inside you. This string will allow you to pull it out safely. But what happens when we put this egg inside us, so inside your vagina, the muscles, the Kegels around it, they're going to have to force against. So they've got this resistance where they're pressing in and you're clenching and you're making them work that they're getting this kind of not just a force, but they're lifting weights basically. Your Kegels, when this egg is inside your vagina, they have to try to squash it. Now, you can't squash it, but they're trying at maximum effort, and with practice you get better and better and you'll feel the strength. But it's good to use a tool like this that you can practice maximum effort of the pelvis and the vaginal muscles on this. So jade eggs are great ones for trying, and they're very safe, and you will see a big difference in as little as a week on your Kegel muscles. So there's no point in doing Kegel exercises and not providing a force or some sort of resistance, because you're not going to improve anything. It's kind of just repetitive, and to see any sort of difference you would have to be doing them a lot. There's also, like, if you don't want to fork out on a jade egg, you can also use a vibrator, or your man, your husband, anything that goes up inside you that you would need to squeeze with your Kegel muscles. That's going to create this force and a resistance that you would need to improve Kegel muscles. I mean, it depends on your preference. If you just wanted to use the assistance of your husband or your boyfriend, that's of course up to you. Some women may have certain sex toys at home that they can use, and this will aid in the strength of Kegel muscles. And also another thing that not many people will touch on is how masturbation actually will help with the strengthening of your Kegel muscles. So once you activate through masturbation, we can connect with the whole area a lot more. We can feel how everything works. Once them hormones are released, then we get more of a sense of what we like and how we like to move. So again, emphasizing that these are all muscles that we're moving the same way as in the gym when you're bench pressing or you're lifting a weight. Certain hormones, certain feelings are going to be released in that specific part of your body, and that's going to allow you to connect a lot more with how you feel and what you like and what works best for you. So the same will go with masturbation. When you masturbate, you get a feeling of how the Kegel muscles work and the sensitivity around the vagina area, which is going to allow you to strengthen your Kegels a lot more when you get connected, and therefore preventing incontinence, and therefore improving orgasms, and therefore improving your sensitivity. And this has also been shown to improve weight loss, because when we masturbate, we release serotonin and oxytocin, and it helps our gut and our gut lining, and it helps balance out all the bacteria, which aids in weight loss as well. So that's a little bonus you didn't know about. But definitely using tools. Now lastly, I want to touch on, because I'm a Pilates instructor, and it's not talked about too much with your generic Pilates instructor population, Pilates is actually a great aid for improving your lower pelvic and abdominal strength and your Kegels, because it activates the muscles a lot more. It activates your core strength, it activates the spinal column and your hip flexors a lot more, that the likes of the half roll down, I wouldn't recommend the full roll down, because when we go into a full roll down position, we push our pelvic floor downwards into the mat. We don't want that. We want our pelvic floor to stay elevated and bring all the muscles in together. So the half roll down, which is a great one, which I have a link to a video that I did of the half roll down. I will post it on this when I'm finished. But also, like, some prone moves like the cat-cow, where you're on your hands and knees. So if we're talking like sexual stimulation and having strong Kegels for that, if you were on your hands and knees with your husband, you want to be able to squeeze your Kegels inwards. So the likes of the cat-cow would do. Some prone leg raises would help you. Obviously you would want proper technique and some instruction there, and just to seek out a specialist to help you with that. But there's a few moves I wouldn't recommend for Kegels that put your pelvis in different alignment to the rest of your body and your spine. But there are definitely a few excellent moves. Like you can do the single leg stretch. Again, that tries to push your pelvis down, but if we keep one foot on the ground and our head on the ground, then we can elevate the pelvis a bit more while activating all the abdominal and core muscles and adductor muscles Kegels and everything we need to get Kegels. But I suppose if I was to pick out one thing that I would recommend most for improving Kegel strength, it would be to add some sort of resistance in. So that could be the jade egg, that could be a vibrator, it could be any sex toy, it could be your man's hand or penis or whatever, something that you can push against. You want to bring the muscles in and you want to create a force. The same way, I don't know if you remember back in the old days, in the old weightlifting days, there used to be this bar that you could pull down and would put resistance across your chest to bring the chest down and bring the muscles down. But that resistance pushed this bar in. So it was a steel bar, but in the middle it had springs, so it was flexible. So if you think of your Kegel muscles, when you have something in your vagina, you're putting pressure and you're pushing down and in, and we're drawing everything together, and this is going to enforce the Kegel muscles and make them a lot stronger. I think I've covered a lot. Engaging the glutes, so your butt. So you've got squats, especially deep squats for engaging the glutes and pelvic muscles at the same time. So deep squats, getting your hips lower than knee height. Walking is another favorite of mine, especially on a trail or an incline. So if you're here in Airdrie, get up to Big Hill Springs and we're going to do that trail, so a lot of climbing, something that's going to activate your glutes a lot more. And then when it comes to core work, specific core work that you would do that would activate everything below the belly button, so that's what you want, below the belly button. And then I like the old Thigh Masters, like the really old ones that are like $10, that you just stick in between your thighs and you will just squeeze and squeeze the adductors, so that's going to draw everything together as well. I think you can get them in like Superstore, maybe Dollarama. I think I got mine in Superstore for $10. Some of the old school equipment works a lot better and the old school techniques than the newer stuff. And that is me done for now. I hope you enjoyed it and you found it very informative. If you've any questions, drop them below. I will post the link to the half roll down move, which is very safe for all, even beginners. Like I said, if you have questions, just reach out to me. I also have my page, Shemaine's Model Health, on Facebook. My name is Shemaine Linney, so you can reach out to me anywhere there. And I hope you found this informative and I didn't speak too fast. And of course, my Irish accent, I hope, wasn't too much for you. I hope you all have a great day and I will chat with you soon. Goodbye.